what's going on, guys? Freaky Trades here, bringing you another new weekly stock watch list. Not too much going on this week, as you guys can tell by the earnings calendar. But before we look a little bit deeper into it, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it, growing the channel day by day as everything goes on. So, pretty short watch list and a pretty short earnings week on its own. And as far as news goes, we do have 1 day off this week, and then I believe 2 half days this week as well. So either 1 half day or it's either 2 half days, 1 half day, but I know we have 1 day off for sure. But looking like a pretty short week for sure. So, and then as you guys can tell with the earnings calendar here, there is not too much to really go over, because that's 4 companies that I have never even heard of or will look to touch. So we can go ahead and dive to your guys' favorite part, which is the watch list. So first things first, you guys know I like to start with ES and NQ here. As far as ES goes, if I put this on the 1 hour for you guys, you can see that we currently have a flat bottom at 55.10. Since we are catered more towards the downside than we are to the upside, I'm really focused more on the downside. Upside still a potential thing that could happen. Who knows? ES and NQ could gap up over the weekend. Who knows? Right? It is expected to be a slower and choppier week, lower volume. These kinds of weeks where it's around 4th of July, things tend to slow down a little bit. It doesn't mean nothing will happen. It just, that's usually how things are. So going into this week though, as far as ES goes, I'm going to be looking at 55.10 to the downside. After 55.10, I have room down to 5,500. After 5,500, I'm curious to see if we get to this gap here starting at 54.89, and then with room down all the way down to 54.37 on that. If we happen to gap up though, I'd be looking at the double top at around 55.88 with room all the way up to 5,600 on that, with more all-time highs with the S&P 500. So it's kind of the same story with NQ. Only the upside, there really is no top side with NQ here. We really more focus on the bottom here, if anything. If I put this on the 4 hour for you guys will see what I'm talking about and why I'm more focused on the downside, especially with NQ. Is to the upside, we're far away from anything, right? As far as the downside goes, we are currently breaking a 4 hour uptrend that we have been respecting on NQ for a while now. You can see here previously in these past few days, even the past week, that we have been rejecting off of this 4 hour trend. And on Friday, we ended up having a crazy sell-off near the end of the day, and we ended up breaking the trend line, and we touched off of 19,900 again, which is the area where they keep buying NQ up from. So with NQ going forward, I'm going to be looking at the 19,900 area. After that, I have room down to 19,700 to see if we really break out of this range, stop seeing some all-time highs, and maybe we get some more lows in the market. But who knows, right? Earnings are around the corner for the month of July for a lot of the tech companies, so a lot of things are going to be determined around that. So we could get chop, we could get some sort of, Momo into all-time highs, we can see a sell-off, who knows? Our job is to trade with what's in front of us and not predict what's going to happen. So that's the way I like to approach the market, and it's what works for me personally. So, but yeah, that is the outlook for ES and NQ and what I have going forward into this week. And like I said in the beginning of the video, there really isn't too much going on. A lot of off stocks that we don't normally trade. First one, part of my main watch list is AVGO. You guys can see that we've been filling some of the gap that I've been talking about on the past few of these videos, with the gap that started at, I believe it was right here at 1652, and we've been filling that gap since then. What we have left of the gap is around 60 to 70 bucks here at 1564. That's where it resumes again. So with AVGO, I'd be looking to play that gap area again, around 1565, and taking it into that low of where the gap starts into 1560, with the room down to 1550 on AVGO. So pretty simple setup, not too much going on right there. So CRM or Salesforce, or as I like to say it in the chat, CRIM. A lot of people make fun of me, but with a stock where I have to say CRM, which is 3 syllables, as compared to something like CRIM, it's a lot easier said than having to pronounce 3-letter words, and it's a lot faster, especially when we're scalping. And if this trade happens to be close, it just happens to be convenient. But as far as CRM goes, we can go on the daily, and you can see that we actually have a gap that we've been filling to the upside as well. Consolidated there for a bit on Friday, so pretty simple setup here on CRM. I do consider this an A+ setup because I am a fan of key levels with gap fills, so that's one of my top setups. So as far as CRM goes, I'd be looking at the 260 level into the high at 260.18, where the gap resumes, and see if we get any momentum past that. So that is the setup for CRM. And then as far as NVIDIA goes, NVIDIA is actually part of the main watch list. And believe it or not, I actually haven't traded NVIDIA yet since it has split. I just haven't seen any setups to take advantage of or that I'm really comfortable with on NVIDIA. It's been a lot of me observing and seeing how the chat trades it and how Nor trades it and all these other interns that we have part of the team, and kind of gauging, seeing how they're taking this stock. But this is one of the very few setups now that I'm really comfortable watching and probably taking here. This is why it's part of the watch list. And it'd be at the 123 low here on NVIDIA. And you can see that we're currently in a range right now from 123 all the way up to 128 for the meantime. 3-day range, not too much, but who knows? It could be stuck here. We won't know until the week happens. So as far as the downside goes, I'd be looking at 123 into that 122.60 low. And then to the upside, I'd be looking at 128 all the way up to that 130 high. So NVIDIA is pretty simple setup. It's just a range setup, kind of similar to ES here. So nothing too crazy going on right there. And then part of the side watch. First thing is Amazon. Amazon went on an absolute tear here the past few days. I'm sure a lot of you saw from 190. The all-time high was at 191. We rejected there for a day, it looks like, and then we came back, and then we just happened to make a $10 push. So absolutely insane of Amazon. I haven't seen Amazon do something like this in such a long time, but it'll definitely be on the watch. The only area that I'm really interested on this is 200. Nothing else, nothing more. Just going to keep it simple and watch the 200 area, since that'll be a psychological level and it'll be an all-time high break for something like Amazon. So lots of ways to flip the premiums right there for Amazon. Next up is SMCI. SMCI is a little bit more difficult. This stock does have a lot of follow through. This is why I always have it part of my watch list, and that's why I think it's a really clean stock. A lot of people don't think it is because of the spreads, because of the pullbacks, but if you size correctly, then it's not too big of a deal. So as far as SMCI goes, I'd be looking at the low from Friday at 815. After 815, I have room down to 810. After 810, I have room down to the low here that we made after we broke the 820 level. Room down to 808. After 808, I have room down to 800. So pretty simple setup. It's a side watch because it's really close to the level, and with the way SMCI moves over the weekend or even overnight, this thing can move a lot. So it's part of the side watch list. Not expecting for this to be lined up for us in the morning for this week, but who knows? Maybe it lines up perfectly and it gives us a chance to short this stock all the way back down to 800, like the past couple of times we've been doing this for now. So that is the setup for SMCI. And then last but not least, you guys saw that Tesla finally broke out of a crazy consolidation that it has been in. We took advantage of this week with the stock hours chat. Shout out to Nor and the rest of the interns being there and catching it and signaling it to everybody else in the chat. Absolutely killed it this week. I believe we had around 270% in gains, somewhere around that. So if you started off with $1,000 account, that would have been at roughly $2,700 for the week. So I'm just taking that off signals. So but as far as Tesla goes, pulled back, not expecting too much here. I don't like anything to the downside, despite what some people could say about it, maybe at 194, 195, whatever. I'm not interested on that. I'm interested on the breakout level that Tesla has had. And so for that to happen, I am interested at 203. After 203, I'm looking at 205. With above 205, we do have a $1 gap. If I put this on the, I believe the 4 hour, I can show you guys here. Looks like I have to be on the daily. You guys can see here the slight gap that we have from this high right here to the low of this candle right here. We have a slight $1 gap above 205. It starts at 205.66 and ends at 206.77. So roughly $1. For something like Tesla, it could matter. It could be another factor or another catalyst for this trade to keep going up after the 205 level. We won't know until we see the momentum in bid and ask go at each other when we get to 205. So yeah, guys, that is about it for the watch list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Pretty short week with a pretty short watch list, so both go hand in hand right there. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it. And with that much more being said, guys, hope you guys have a good week and be safe out there. Peace out.